Welcome to this video where we discuss two triangle postulates, the side-side-side triangle postulate and the side-angle-side triangle postulate. First word we're going to put in our math dictionary is the side-side-side triangle postulate. And that says if three sides of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding three sides of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So if we can identify that the three sides in each triangle are congruent, then we can state triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. It's a shortcut for knowing that two figures are congruent without having all of the information. Our second shortcut is called the side angle side. And what that means is that we need two sides in the included angle of one triangle congruent to the corresponding two sides and included angle of another triangle. Then we can state the two triangles are congruent. So if we just have a side angle and a side, and it goes in order. So if we have this side, that angle, side, side, angle, side, it has to be corresponding, going in the same order. Then we can state the two triangles are congruent. Now, one piece of information is whenever you see a diagram like this, you see that we have two separate triangles. There's triangle ABC, and there's triangle DBC, where 2 points that they both share are BC, meaning that when you see a diagram like this, they share this common side in both triangles. Therefore, we would mark that that side is congruent in both triangles. It's the same side in triangle ABC as it is in triangle DBC. So when triangles share a side, we have to mark it, and it helps us come up with the triangle postulate to state that triangles are congruent. The next piece of information we should know is when these triangles, they share a little tip right here. They share that tip, well, that means that we have two lines that intersect. And if you recall, two lines that intersect create vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent. So whenever you have triangles that are kind of touching at a point, that means they create vertical angles, meaning we should mark those two angles are congruent. That's something that's never going to be marked for you. It's something that you have to mark when you decide if the triangles are congruent. So let's go to example 1. We want to state, is it congruent by side, 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 or side, angle, side, or maybe they're not congruent. The first thing I notice here is these two triangles share this side. And since there's already been one tick mark, I'm going to mark this middle one with two tick marks, meaning that I've got a side, angle, side in the left triangle. But the right triangle, when I start at that corresponding side, it goes side, side, angle. So you might notice that you have two sides and an angle, but they don't go in the correct order. So these two triangles would not be congruent. Let's go to our next example. In this example, we have two sides that's already marked, and they share this point. Now, if you remember the little tidbit, if they share that point, that means they have two lines that intersect. Let me use a highlighter. These two lines intersect and they form what's called vertical angles. So we should be marking that angle right there. So these two angles are congruent, meaning that in the left triangle I've got side, angle, side. And on here, if I start with a one tick mark, it's side, angle, side. Therefore, these two triangles would be congruent by our side, angle, side postulate. Okay. So are these triangles congruent? When I look at these two triangles, I notice that they share the same side, highlighting it here. So when they share the same side, we're going to mark it, and the only thing left is I can mark it with 3 because there's already been 1 tick mark. There's already a side that has 2 tick marks. So I'm going to mark it with 3 tick marks, and I'm going to take a look at each triangle. It looks like I have a side, and a side. And on this triangle, I have side, side. Whoops, I went out of order there. Side, side, side. These two triangles will be congruent by side, side, side. 2 more examples. Question states, state what additional info is required to show the triangles are congruent by side, angle, side. Well, if we're given the 2 sides already, in order for side, angle, side, we need the included angle. So AB meets at B and CB meets at B. Therefore, we would need to know angle B congruent to angle E. If we knew angle B is congruent to angle E, then we could state that they are congruent by side, angle, side. Last example. State what additional info is required to show triangles congruent by side, side, side. Well, as I look, these 2 triangles share the side BC. So that's something that we uncovered. It's not anything that we need to know. It's not any additional information. We know that we have 2 sides. The third side that we're missing would be side AC needs to be congruent to side BD.